Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thank you so much for dropping by. A major link, a major highway, the national highway of the Philippines, a section of that has collapsed down in Mindanao. Now, this is really critical, and it's a big problem because it's the main link between Bukidnon, between Davao, northern Mindanao, and the rest of Mindanao. All right, southern Mindanao. It is one of the major links, and it is the biggest link. It is the national highway, a 6-lane section is what it's described as. Let's show you some pictures and talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay, so where is this? And we're going to tell you where it is. We're going to tell you why it's so critical. And then we're going to tell you what we think is going to really happen here, because it's not a good thing. So this is the area, Cagayan de Oro. It is the link between the major highway between southern Mindanao and northern Mindanao. In other words, to get to Davao, to get to Butuan, to get north of Cagayan de Oro, the roads are limited. You may not realize this, okay? But the Philippines, while it doesn't have snow-capped mountains or anything like that, it does have big ass hills, mountains. And, to get from point A to point B, you have to go through all of these mountain passes or a coastal road. And that coastal road goes through towns, and the streets are limited and traffic is terrible. So what happened? Well, here, we'll take a look at it right there. That's it. And special credit goes out to SP Motovlog. All right. He's the one that posted these drone pictures, and they're very good. But look at this. This is an entire section of the national highway. This is not a small road. This is the road that the national highway is the main artery that goes through each one of the separate areas of the Philippines. Luzon, Visaya, Leyte, Mindanao, all of that is, there are ancillary sections and ancillary highways, but not national highways. There's only one true national highway. And this is supposedly a 6-lane highway, and it's kind of famous for having its overlooks and things like that. But what's the real problem here? Well, the real problem is if you look at how that's done, it's going to be a beast to repair. It is not going to be something that's going to be done overnight. It's going to add hours of travel time, more than hours, actually, more than just a few hours, because this is a main transportation, logistical hub, artery that goods and services travel through. And, I'll give you an example of what I think here. Right up the street from us, here in Angeles City, Fields Avenue, which is a main artery. It is a main street that connects, one side of Angeles City with another. It's been undergoing something. I've been told several different things, but supposedly they're putting in new drainage and they're digging pipes. That shit started about 8 months ago, maybe a year, and it doesn't look like it's anywhere near done yet. And with that being said, it's been reduced to one lane in several areas, all right, within about a 500-yard stretch. In 3 different places, it's one lane for about 50 yards. And the traffic that it backs up is miserable. In fact, to give you an idea, on a weekend, on a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, if we want to go to dinner down towards Tequila Reef, suppose we want to go to dinner at Tequila Reef, all right, what usually was about a 4-minute trike ride can now take as long as 20 minutes because the traffic backs up everywhere. So, with that being said, how long is it going to take to fix that? I mean, look at it. That's going to have, I don't know what they're going to do. I really and truly don't. I mean, somehow they're going to have to fill in a bunch of crap. Then they're going to have to build retaining walls. Then they're going to have to do everything that goes along with it. And the Philippines is, right now we're experiencing earthquakes. We've got typhoons. We've got heavy rain. Rojas City's underwater in certain places. It's one thing after another. And then there is the supposed alleged corruption in the government contracting of construction work throughout the Philippines. How long is that going to take? I mean, if you need to go by hospital, by ambulance, how are you going to get there? There are alternative routes, okay? Sure there are. There are alternative routes. But they're smaller roads, and they're going to be clogged with 18-wheelers. They're going to be clogged with trucks hauling coconuts, trucks hauling pigs, everything that goes along with it. Trikes, all of the dilapidated vehicles that can only go 25 miles an hour up a hill. I mean, this is a big, big deal. We've talked about infrastructure in the Philippines, and I'm not saying that this is a poor infrastructure project by any way, shape, or means. What I am saying is that it's going to take time to fix it. I guarantee you it's going to take 6 to 18 months to get that back in operation, to get it back up to speed, even to get 2 decent lanes moving. And even then, I think that would be a dangerous and decided thing. So part of what I'm talking about here is when you make your choice to live in a certain area, you have to deal with nature. You have to deal with infrastructure. You have to deal with all of these things. How long is it going to take to get materials up there? How long is it going to take to get the substrate fixed so they can even do anything? How long is it going to take to get permits? How long is it going to take for them to get the plans drawn up? All of those things matter. All of them do. And so where you live, it makes a big difference. Even with, say, the flooding over in Rojas City yesterday, there's all kinds of ways to get around town. Now, will it be a pain in the butt? Sure it will. And is it devastating? Well, if you've never had flood damage before, and there is a lot of it, let me tell you, it's devastating. So what's going to happen here? How are we going to get patients from point A to point B? How about emergency vehicles? How about goods and services? It's just like when they had the issue with the landslide north of us. Now we have a home in Mindanao, all right, and it's way north of that, but What about our home here in Angeles? Well, last year, or not last year, but I don't know, something like 6, 8 months ago, that was impacted by a landslide up near Baguio. And in turn, produce got slowed down dramatically. For a month or two, we saw huge increases. My God, I could have bought chicken cheaper than I could buy broccoli back then. So where you live makes a big difference. Think about it. Think about how exposed you're going to be. If you're in the area down there, if you know people that are in the area, what are they saying? Tell us in the comments. Tell us what you think. Have you actually even been on this road? Do you is it going to impact you or your family or your partner's family? We'd like to know. Otherwise, thank you so very much. We have a great day. Be safe.